new capabilities related to the suite in the 222.05. We have two main features that were exposed, and the two of them are experimental. It's not totally production yet. And when we come to learn this material, we saw that there is a lot of things that are not working correctly yet. So it's a little bit, it's like a beta version, let's say. And it's you will see it in the documentation that it's considered as a beta version. So the first things that we are going to talk about is the data lake source type configurator. The data lake of OBA is the how we collect data from Optic and move it to OBA. So we had a CLI to do it in the past. We still have, of course, the CLIs, but now we have a UI that make our life easier. So what you can see in my screen, let me see if I can make a pointer. Yes. So this is how the UI looks like. You have a list of existing collections here. You have the metadata of each collection. When you click on a collection, for example, the CMDB entity, then you will see all the metadata that related to this. What is the metadata? It's all the name of the entities and the type, if it's a metric or an attribute, the data type, if it's a string, a float, integer, the type of length, and very important if it's a key. And more important is the tags. The tags are very important for OBA because there are some tags that are very, they are necessary for OBA for the search, for example. If some metric, for example, will not be tagged as primary, it will not appear in the search, for example. Or if a host type is not tagged as an host type, it will not appear when you will search when you will search by host. Okay. So how we create a collection? We click here in the three dots. It's very confusing. You will see, I think, three of them on the screen. So you will see that the one near the search is you have the three dots and you need to click it. And then you have this menu. You can create collection, edit, remove, or refresh a collection. When you click the create collection, you have a list of collections that configured and was not used yet by the application. If it was used, the system marked it as used and will not show you here. You will see it in the table of existing collections. Now you choose your, for example, RAM crash table collection, and you can start you can click create and then you start editing it. When you create a collection, you will see a notification, collection created, create collection. And if it's green, it's okay. If there is sometimes it's yellow or red, it means that it has any errors or it failed. Not all the time you will see the notification. Sometimes it's gone. If other notifications get into the system, yours is going to disappear and you will not see it. Then you need to find if it was created or not by yourself. Okay, you can update the collection, add the tag, for example. So for example, this tag for a collection is very is necessary. For example, if you create a new table, you need to add the optic tag. Otherwise, OBA will not treat it as an optic data and will not go to optic when it needs to query it. Very important tag for a collection in the collection level. And performance also, the performance tag also help you when you search for performance issues. So here, after you create a collection, you go to the metadata section and you can edit the tags for the data. For example, you can change an attribute if you think. Sometimes the collection brings something as an attribute, but you know that it's a metric. For example, the CPU utilization. So you can change the type to metric. You can change the data type length, and then you can save it. Okay, remove a collection. If something went wrong, you want to start from the beginning, you can remove the collection and it will be removed from OBA. Now, you do everything, I don't know if I mentioned that, you do everything on the suite level, not on OBA, okay? That's the idea of the, because in the future, in the near future, the whole OBA will be a part of the suite, it will run on the suite. Not now, but it's on development now. Any questions, guys? Okay. So the second feature is the anomaly detection configurator. As you all know, the anomaly detection feature help you to find anomalies in your data. And until now, we hide these settings in OBA. If you want to see it, you need to click secret key combinations on the keyboard, and then you will get it. But now we expose it also in the suite level. So we have the OPSA POCO CLI that we are using behind the scenes. You can use it directly. This OPSA POCO CLI is also exposed for the users. But I guess most of you will prefer the UI. This is what we have in OBA, by the way. This is how it looks like. You can click here on this link and get into the UI directly. But you need to create, of course, lightweight SSO if you want to avoid logins, and then you will have it. In order to have it, for example, in my system currently, I think it's not enabled. I need to restart it to make it enabled because I just changed the settings. But in general, you need to configure something in OBA, some parameter in the configuration properties that will make it available. You have to add an entry. It's documented in the documentation. So what we have here, when we go to the settings in the anomaly detection parameters, we will get a list of parameters that we can change. This is how it looks like. And here you have the search. You can search for a specific parameter. And I will show it to you later. You have a nice document that I also added to my exercise. It will be later on the site. That show you how it's divided into few sections that help you to understand better what you are doing, because changing the anomaly is not an easy task. It's easy task, but it's not easy to understand. Sorry, it's not easy to understand because the anomaly is very not intuitive. It includes some analysis information, and if you don't know what you are doing, it's better not to touch with it. But it's very helpful if you know what you want and you come here and read the documentation, and then you understand what you need to change and how to do it. So we will see it later how to do it. So you choose one of your, for example, significant duration of metrics. You can, this, for example, show you and allow you to change the significance of a specific of a duration of a metric. For example, if you want that the CPU metric, anomalies that related to CPU metric will be alive for 1 day, then you can configure it here. It's very important because if you don't touch it, your anomaly can live for days or for weeks, and it's very not useful because it becomes huge with tons of parameters. You go lost. So if you want to make it short and relevant to a specific time, you you limit it for 1 day or for a few hours, and it works very good because I tried that and it really works. So you can set the anomaly detection parameters. You play with unfortunately, you need to know how to play with regex because everything is based on regex, all the matches. So you need to type here the entity, for example. You can use regex complex syntax, and it works. For the metric name, you can choose few metrics, not only one. And then you give the value, the metric value, for example, between 0 to 9, and so on. You can remove your configuration. If you remove the configuration, it will jump to the default. Some useful links I added to the presentation. You can use it later. One of them is the anomaly detection configuration UI doc. And the most important, I think, is the anomaly detection parameters document that we have. That help you to understand what type of anomalies you have in the system and what you can change and how. And the link to the Paco CLI documentation if you want to work with the CLI. If no questions until now, it means that you are doing your other exercises. No questions, guys. Okay, we will move to another feature that we don't have in our SaaS environment at the moment, which is the analyze anomalies in OBM UI. If you go again to the suite level, here on the OBM/UI, you will see also under the performance analysis, you will see the analyze anomalies. And this brings you the UI of OBA into the suite. It's very useful. You don't need to use 2 applications. You have only 1 application. You can play in the one, and you can see here the events of OBM. And when you click on a specific event, you can see and if you have anomalies, you can filter it's automatically filtered by anomaly events. You can see only the anomalies. And when you click on one of them, you can see the anomaly breaches in this pane. You can see more if you click on the host level. You will here on the host level, for example, you click here and then you get this page with OBA, for example, log and event analytics. You can see all the panes of OBA here in OBM UI. That's it for now. If you have any question, please, this is the time to ask. If not, if you will play with the system later when I expose the exercises, then I will be happy to answer your questions. Just let you know that currently the collection logs is not working. I'm working to fix it. There is a bug that I found during my work that OBA doesn't know how to work when you define a cluster of Vertica. So it tried to reach the 3 nodes in one string. So it's a bug that we have a simple solution that they can truncate the other 2 Vertica instances, and then it works. So I'm trying to do it now in our system and make it work again. That's it for my side. It's now open for your questions, and Again, I want to remind you that it's not fully tested, and there are few bugs in the UI, things that weren't checked, especially not in production systems. So we expect for issues, but everything will be found and fixed as soon as possible. Okay. So that's it for my side. If you don't have a question, you can continue with the labs.
Hello, Alon. This is Spiros.
Yes. Hello.
Hi. I want to ask about the OBA exercise. When you will open it up for us to do it, will we be able to add specific metrics to be baselined as primary tag?
Yes, you can play with the system when I will open it, but I need to about the collection. I need to fix
The
the
logs is
collection
not a
to vertical.
problem.
Hmm?
The collection of the metrics is the issue. To have metrics in OBA. This is done through the optic, correct?
Yes, yes.
Okay, right.
Mhm.
Perfect. Thank you.
Okay. Any other question? Okay. So thank you for now. Continue with the labs. I will update you when the OBAL labs will be ready. Then you will need to refresh your mft.com portal, and then you will see it. Thanks.